Hello guys, John Moore with you again. We're doing an unboxing again. We're doing an unboxing this time for the Zvezda Tiger 1 Ausf E German heavy tank early production. Now that's early production of the Ausf E, not early production of the Tiger tank, because the first of the Tiger tanks was the H, which we all know, and so this is the early production of the E. It's kit number 3646. It's from Zvezda. It's in 1/35th scale. And a little bit of info there at the side. The whole model will be 24.1 centimeters long. There's 335 parts, so it's quite a nice bit of parts count in it. And gives paid callouts here for Humbrol and a make which I don't speak Russian, so I don't know what make it is, but it does. If you speak Russian, it gives great info. If you don't speak Russian, it gives no info whatsoever. Now, one thing I do want to ask peoples out there, hopefully this will zoom in on this now because it's the best picture of it. On the decal sheet, you get this decal here. Oops, I'm trying to hold this steady. Well done, John. It's that decal there, alright, which is the unit insignia. Alright. Now, I can't find that anywhere. Through research, if you know what I mean. As in, I can't find that symbol anywhere. It looks, you could say, it kind of from a distance kind of looks like a buffalo. I got the buffalo ones, and it looks kind of like that, which would make sense because the buffalo was the 504th Heavy Tank Battalion, which used these. But that's about the nearest I could get that to. I can't find that insignia anywhere, in any books or internet or anything else. So if anybody else finds out, let me know. So anyway, let's crack the box and see what we have inside. Fabulous packaging from Zvezda. You get a brown box inside your other box, and there we go. We've got our nice bits and pieces here. You get a one-piece tub, which is quite nicely moulded, except for, and Coen did a review on this, Michael did, and you can see this ridging and things along here. See it? It looks actually not all that great at all, but with a bit of clean-up work and things, that should be okay. It was Patrick Schaefer who put me onto this model, the Clane 187. Patrick said that this model would suit me down to the ground and I would enjoy making it. So I put it on my my wish list, placed my wish list in a public and public for this house position, so it would be seen, and then dropped enough hints and then got it. But anyway, that's another story. So let's have a look at the screws. First screws. They're all in individual bags, which is nice. I'll just move this out of the way so we can have a look at the stuff. Right, and I will turn this, tilt this downwards, move this a tad. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause and get ready for this. Not normally, but I'm in for the crack. Now we're back, and this is the first sprue that I've, after taking out of the bag. And I've been looking around to see if they marked sprue A, B, C or D. If they are, they're very badly marked A, B, C and D. I can't seem to find them anywhere. But anyway, we've got a turret, two halves, and if you look into the turret, there's some lovely detail inside the turret. Abigail, will you let Sam out there before he freaks me out and wrecks the place on us? And on this we've got the turret parts, basically. We've got the turret ring, the top of the turret. Some nice little mouldings on those. But the only thing about this, as another thing Coen pointed out, was these are spring loaded here. These little clips for the for the spare track. So if you don't put in the spare track, make sure that you sort of cut one off and re-glue it in a downward position so it looks as if it's spring down. Barrel is in 2 halves, 2-piece barrel, and loads of tiny little parts. Condition of the part, as you can see here, is actually very, very good. There's no flash, there's no excess plastic whatsoever on them and stuff, so that's actually quite nice. So that's our first sprue. Second one, we'll just pop this out of the bag. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas day yesterday. I had a fabulous one. Lovely Christmas dinner. Still stuffed. And hope everybody's day went nice. Right, we've got the side skirts. It seemed to be okay. One piece as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4 little pieces, you know. We have the in here. These are tops of the engine grills, I think. They're for in the engine bay. There's things to go on top of them. There's the back of the main hull. Side skirts with some grills at the back. Engine exhaust, nicely moulded, nice clean. Front mantled. Toe ups. I will be making my own toe ups since Jens showed me how to do them. That's Jens, the non-prolific 135 modeler. He does toe chains, loads of other scratch building things. That's where I got the idea for the aerials and things. I'll put a link into Jens' channel at the bottom of this, and I'll tell you this much: if you're into any bit of scratch building at all, if you're not already watch Jens' channel, you're in for an eye opener, because this man is unbelievable when it comes to scratch building. Making suspension for tanks. If the suspension doesn't suit him, he make his own. Now I won't bother going to take this one out. No. I'll just take it out anyway because start in the middle. Just hacking with a big scissors, that's what we do. And then, oops. Bit of overexcitement there then. Now we've got a loose piece. Make sure we keep an eye on that loose piece. Oh, that's the top of the exhaust. So very, very important loose piece. I'll just pop that up there so I don't lose it. This has come away from one of the sprues. Excuse me. Never quite got rid of that cough that I got last year. Right, both sprues are identical, so it's pointless. Abby's just having a look at the sprues there herself. I think she wants to start building. Do you, Abs? Right, there's the this sprue. Like I said, I can't find any identifications on the sprues, and there's a little plate there, but it doesn't really sort of, just says Zvezda on it. No, I'll zoom in later. Oh, it does. It's at the letter of the thing. There's a sprue E. Flipping Egypt. Anyway, there's the road wheels, idler wheels, little bits of spare track, and the suspension. And the dog decided to go mental underneath the table. Yeah, it's a madhouse here. Isn't it, Abs? Yeah. Right, there's the detail there on the drive sprocket and the outer wheels. Then so they're quite nice. You know, there's very little really you can say. You know, a wheel is a wheel as long as it's moulded nice. As long as there's no big mad flash on it, there's nothing really major sandings, things like that to do with it. Then basically the kit is down to yourself and how you do it. Then it's down to fit, actually, should I say first. And you can't tell fit until you're fitting. You know, so by doing sort of an inbox review, this just curiosity more than anything else. Anybody thinking of buying the model, wonder what you get for your money. Like, you know, it's Zvezda, they're very, very reasonably priced, and you get loads of plastic for your money. So, the quality of the plastic, it's actually quite good. You know, it's not a little bit flexible, which is good, because at least then if there is a slight warpage, like there's definitely a warpage there on the front of that. That's warped up. You know, but when that sits onto the thing and glued into position, because it's so light, it will conform quite easy. But that is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is slightly warped there. You know, from the sprue gate on. But, you know, glued into place, that'll be lovely. There's the top deck anyway, with the holes for the gun and bits and pieces. So what have we left? We've tracks left, track links and sections. So it's not link to link, it's link to block, or whatever you want to call it. Two spools of track. Both are identical. So let's have a look at the track. We get a long section, say let's say bottom, top. The guide horns are separate, so at least when we get the strip, we don't have to put in the individual ones. There's all the individual guide horns to go in. There's the track itself. I think it's just a single type track, and it kind of clips in together. Detail on the track is actually quite nice. They're actually quite nice. So if it goes together well, it'll be a nice track. And finally then, we've got our instructions and our decals and some clear parts. Right, let's just have a little look in the bag at these. I don't like touching decals too much. I like leaving them in the bag till late, because you'll notice that they've got that kind of stickiness to them. Well, not stickiness, but kind of a tackiness. And I'm sure if because of that, it's quite easy to rub off or damage. Now, the reason that's why I showed you the front of the box earlier, because when you look at the decal sheet, it's very, very hard to make out that little unit decal. It's decal number 2 there, or decal number 2. And it's exactly the same as the one on the box. And it's the only one it gives you for unit recognition, and I can't find it. Now, I did go by the number here, and I did a search on that, and I found out it's a tank from the, I think it's 508th, which used the Buffalo. So therefore, you know, do I go by the numbers right and try and change that decal? Because I've got loads of spare decals in my decal box. I'll figure out something. I'll go for something a bit more, so we mightn't even be using these decals. We might be using some old familiar ones that I have. And there's the little clear sprue for the vision blocks for the turret, main vision block at the front, I'd say, and a couple of more. So, nice clear parts. They're clear and they're parts. So that, I suppose, explains the fact of clear parts. And finally, last but by no means least, we've got the instruction booklet. Now, I'll just change the angle of that a bit there slightly. I'll flip it. So yeah, the instruction booklet. When I say booklet, I mean the instruction long page. Starts off, it gives you a bit of info about the tank. If you can speak Russian, there's a Russian bit there. There's an English bit here that gives you instructions about on the tank, and it's so vague and general. There's nothing specific about this tank. It's just Tiger tanks in general. A few bits of safety information there on the front as well. You know, don't cut your fingers off, don't cut this, don't cut that, don't glue yourself to the table. We've got sprue callouts, or sprue map, decal sheet, callout, and the clear thing. So make sure that you've got all your bits and pieces. Then we have step-by-step instructions. Gives you one in version 2, and that's about it. You know, when it comes to English instructions. It's very, 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 very basic. Just says version 1, version 2. It doesn't tell you what's the difference in. And I've looked through this now a few times. The only thing I can find in version 1 and version 2 is the hatches are open in version 2. And I doubt if they're going to go to the whole problem of painting up thing and telling you that, well, if you open the hatches, you got the second version. Now, often when the hatches are closed, it's version 1. That makes no flipping sense to me. So I'll have to just study them further anyway. But anyway, we start first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 steps are all inside the turret. So you start in the turret, which is unusual, because usually you start in the wheels, wouldn't you? And you've got all these little sub-assemblies to get done. You're still working away on your turret. Start working on the main body. And you don't start working on the tracks, the wheels and the tracks, until step 12. Which is way down. And we've got all the other little bits and pieces. I must say that the instructions look very, very neat. Not too much going on in each section, which is good. You know, I hate some instruction sheets, and they're just chock-a-block with instructions. And if you forget to mark off a piece, oh, it'll drive you bloody mental. You're going looking for a piece that's already put on the model. And anyway, there's our basic construction, step by step. And like I said, there isn't that much info on it. Like there's the thing there again, like version 1, put the hatches on closed. There you go. Version 2, put the hatches in open position. Why can't it say a version if you just have opened the hatches? Just say the hatches can be molded in open position. But anyway, when it comes to painting, it gives you 2 color options, painting options. Gives you the just plain Dunkel Glib, the desert yellow, and it gives you a desert yellow with a brown stripes. When it comes to what units they are, or this, that, and the other, it doesn't say. Well, it doesn't say in English anyway. I've been over these 20 bloody times. It gives you a small little thing here in Russian. Alright, and I leave that up long enough so anybody that can speak Russian can tell me, is that instructions for making the tank, or is it telling you about the unit? I can't tell. So there's no real unit, what unit they are, anything else, but it'll give you the numbers anyway, so I suppose you can research it all yourself. So that's basically it. It's your typical Tiger tank, loads of wheels, loads of plastic. And to me, that means loads of fun. So anyway, lads, I'll catch you up when I'm going to start this today at some stage. And as usual, we'll stick in a few updates and things like that. So, sorry for boring you for the last 18.5 minutes. I'll shut up now and stop waffling. And if you are thinking of getting this kit, it's not a bad kit. Like I said, it's very reasonably priced. And it's Zvezda Tiger 1 Ausf German heavy tank, early production, kit number 3646 from Zvezda. So anyway, lads, thank you for watching, for taking the time, and because if you're still listening at this point in time, then you've taken the time to watch the whole thing. Anyway, let's catch up on the next one. Don't forget, like and subscribe. John Moore, signing off.